My name is Carla Sondheim, and I want to thank you for being part of Sketchbook Revival 2021. If you watched the video, you learned how to do one-liner drawings. And in this video, I want to give you a few more things you can do with these one-liner drawings. A lot of the exercises I give seem like they might be kind of almost pointless. Like, well, how does this help me to draw? And I just want to show you a few ways where you can take these one-liner drawings to a finish so that they're actually real drawings. As a reminder, I just wanted to go over what we did at the Sketchbook Revival video, so you don't have to go looking for that. I usually teach one-liners using your imagination, going fairly quickly, thinking loops, and once you put pen to paper, you don't lift your pen until you're done. So if I'm going to draw a giraffe, I would maybe start with the back, go up. I'm thinking loops. And here's some spots and some eyes. So that would be a one-liner as I usually teach it. But there are other ways you can do a one-liner drawing. And you can do them however you want, but here is the first way. You can draw from life. You can do one-line drawings of faces, of photographs, still lifes, using the one-line process. And I'm going to grab a colored pencil here, and I'm going to draw this little vase of dried flowers using one line. And I could use pen if I want, but this is just a different way of doing it. And if I want for this one, I can go as slowly as I want. And I'm also thinking line quality here. So with the giraffe drawing that I just demonstrated, I wasn't worried about what my line looked like at all. I was more worried about shape and form. But when I do this now, I'm going to think about my line quality a little more, and maybe even play with the pen in a way to make the line more interesting. So I'm just going to start here. Remember, once I put my pencil to paper, I can't lift it until I'm done. I can look as often as I want, but it's one line. I'm pretending I can see through my vase here. And I also am going to think loops, a lot of loops on this one, because I want to give myself some really interesting shapes to color in. And again, I'm kind of varying the way I'm holding the pencil, trying to really just to get some interesting lines. I think I'll stop there. So this drawing then can be added to, if I want to kind of finish it. I came down here and I could connect this. I'm not sure if it would make it better, but I'll do it just as a demonstration. Also, it gives me a nice place to color, and I didn't quite hit it right, so. And there. So I just wanted to give a quick demonstration on how I like to use colored pencils. I love to just almost mindless color in the shapes. And like in this case, I would color in the shapes that are opposite, so I would leave some white space. And I'm not planning to color in all my shapes. I'm planning to leave a lot of white space. And again, I can draw as many lines as I want to sort of make this drawing feel better. Like I can add another leaf. And I'm not going to demonstrate the whole thing, but I will put it up online. But I did want to just show you that I love to layer colors. So I've done a layer of red, and now I'm going to add a layer on top of green. Maybe not the whole thing. Maybe go harder at the bottom edges. And then get lighter pressure as it goes up. I could even take a blue, for example, or an orange or a yellow, and it really just play with it. Any second color on top, and I like to have it a little harder at the tip, and then just sort of feather it out. Let me show you a couple of examples of vases that I colored in earlier. So here's a one-line drawing that's just the drawing, and here are a couple where I finished them off with this colored pencil. Again, leaving some white space, not coloring everything in. Here's another one. This one probably could use a little more, but that is the first little tip of how you can take your one-liners further and actually make real drawings out of them. When you do this kind of thing, don't expect every drawing to be good. I think I usually love maybe 1 out of every 5 or 6 drawings that I do, and the rest are all practice, color studies, and practice for things that I might want to take later. So I'll finish this later and put that online for you. Another thing you can do with one-line drawings is to really get the ones from imagination out first, and then pick one of those and really try to get a really good one. So for example, I'm going to go with a cat, and I'm going to do 6 small one-liners on this top half of the page. And I have to put in the eyes, remember. So these are more like the one-liners that we did in the Sketchbook Revival video, only they're just small on the paper. But I'm going to try to do 6 cats in 6 different poses. And I always have to get the eyes in. And they don't have to make that much sense. There's one. Here's an eye, nose, cat. A plain cat, 2. Let's see, maybe a cat just sitting there. Okay, doing 6 forces you to think outside the box. Let's see if I can do another one, maybe a cat from the back. Okay, there's one line. I'm just trying to play with okay, and one more. And in this case, I am trying to do the bodies too. Okay, so now I have 6 different cats, different poses, and now I'm going to try to see if I can pick one of these and draw that one 6 different times and see if I can find one that is the cutest. When you draw like this, when you draw kind of fast, and you want it fast so that it feels like loose and confident, but when you draw that way, you end up having a lot of failures. I'm going to go. I think I actually did one similar to this earlier, and I have some samples to show you, so I'll just keep going with that one. So let's see what I can do. Kind of want to get that face shape cuter too. Okay, so I'm going to try to do the same thing again, but we'll see. That's kind of cute because the front paws are so much bigger. I went off my pattern just a little bit. I'm going to try to pull it back to where I had it before. Okay, so if I were going to use this set of drawings, I mean, this one's awfully cute because it reminds me of a little fox. I like these two, but I think this one would be the one that I would pick. And the reason I choose that one, there's no really great answer. It's just the one that is your gut feeling. So then the next part of this assignment would be to either redraw it bigger on a separate piece of paper, or I want to show you, I had photocopied some ones that I did earlier, and then I photocopied a bigger one. So this might be something, I'm going to work on this now instead of the one in my sketchbook, but you can instead draw it in your sketchbook or draw it on a separate piece of paper and then glue it into your sketchbook. So this is called a Oaxacan dotted animal exercise. And what I like to do now is take this sort of crude drawing and change the lines. So thicken here and thicken there. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. So what I'm going to be doing is coloring in. And I'm going to leave some areas thin and some areas thick. And I can decide right now if I want a bushier tail or a thin tail. I think I'll go for thin. Thinner. And again, we're using the uniqueness of the one-liner drawing and keeping that uniqueness. So this little shape here, I might not have thought to draw if I hadn't made this as a one-line drawing. Okay. And I can smooth this out. And I do kind of like to have these edges curved. So I'm going to color that in, color that in, color that in, maybe curve this one. curving these corners. And there's no rhyme or reason on which lines I'm making thinner or thicker, but I just want to try to remember to make some thinner, or to leave some thinner, I should say. Okay. That one's going pretty well. I want to make this nose a little bit more pronounced since it kind of got lost. And then, like the other drawings, at this point I can and may want to add other things to make it more cat-like. And I can decide whether I want to leave the lines thin or make them thicker. Okay. So that's good enough. I do have a sample that I finished. But in this case, I would then color the insides of my cat. And then as a final touch, I would take a white paint pen and make dots on all the black parts. And they would be bigger dots in the thicker areas and thinner dots in the thinner areas. And let me just show you a finished example. So here's one that I finished beforehand. So this is another fun idea, Oaxacan dotted animals. I hope that you will use one-liners in your sketchbook as a way to generate ideas and as a way to generate the beginnings of some finished drawings. Please post your stuff on the Sketchbook Revival Facebook page, or we have a Carla Sondheim Presents Share Your Work Facebook page as well. So I can't wait to see your drawings. Have fun with the rest of your Sketchbook Revival time, and I'll hope to see you next year.